this episode of Krisullis for the Creative. You're gonna experience a different thought. I messed up. You'll find more about that in the episode. But also, we go over the exciting topics of Web3, how it kind of changes things, where we see Krisullis in the future, and also how you can interact within different age groups.
Oh, oh no.
I'm really sorry. Never happened before. I just noticed I was like, oh, something is not
Oh
right.
no.
I wish I had some sort of backup. Yeah. Um. Well, this is kind of embarrassing. Um.
Was
Welcome
already
back.
gonna do a retake now.
We can't. I can't use the
Oh
part that
my
hasn't been
god.
recorded. Sadly, I'm very
Alright,
sorry about
alright.
that. I'm very sorry.
No, it's fine.
Um. At least I noticed before we finished. That's the only positive I can find in this.
Yeah.
I guess this is gonna play into the humor of it, and I'm just gonna take here the intro. Um, really, I just forgot to hit the record button. This is gonna be part of the podcast. Welcome back to the one of the last episodes of this season. At least I didn't mess the intro up. Um, that's the only thing that's better about this re-recording. Um, I
Yeah.
have Ash on here today. We talked a little bit about before because we actually generally thought the recording was on. Or I just didn't think about it. Ash, just to start off with, could you give us a brief run through, like what you do, what your degree is, your age, stuff like that?
Yeah. Hi, hi everyone. My name is Ashton and I'm 17 years old. I've graduated high school and I majored in commerce and economics. And now I'm in Krisullis working in gamification. Yeah.
But for the people that don't know, what is gamification?
Gamification is basically turning everything, all the structures into something similar to a game, making it fun for everyone, easy, accessible.
Oh, because I generally didn't know that.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why I didn't ask before, but I did. Uh, I answer makes sense. Makes sense. Making it fun for everybody, making
Yeah,
more play instead of it's like I have to do this. Nobody ever wants to have to do something. Well,
exactly.
we talked a bit about books before. Couldn't you?
Yeah.
What is your favorite? Like, what's your favorite business book? So, like,
My
what
favorite
is it and
business
why?
book. Um, I know, I think all time it would be your first or your next five moves. That's the name, I believe. It talks a lot about what goes on in business, all the things you have to do, the mindset that you have to have. Excuse me.
No
And
worries.
talks about, yeah, talks about everything that you have to keep in mind. Because business is not just a straight line, yeah. You're going to face obstacles. And what mindset do you have to keep when facing those obstacles? You can't just have some victim mentality of, oh, poor me, it's all happening to me. No, you have to own up, take accountability, take responsibility, and you have to keep pushing forward until you reach that goal. You have to be cold and calculated. Yeah,
Hmm, I like that. I like that a lot because there's nothing worse than being around people with that victim mentality and
exactly.
always having to hear them complain about this happened to me. Don't you feel sorry for me? Like the
Yeah,
first time I might, but the next time, day after, you come like, it's not that big of a deal.
yeah.
Then
I
move
also
on.
recommend you read The Millionaire Fast Lane.
Hmm. It sounds like a
It's
quick
another book.
rich money scheme.
It just talks about the rules of how people in poor people think, how working class people think, and how rich people think.
Uh,
Yeah.
I've heard like I don't know. I think like myself. And I guess depending on how much wealth I have, that depends like on how I think. But I definitely, and I think I hope this is something you can relate to as well, is like
Yeah.
while speaking, you can definitely feel your way of thinking, your perspective changing fast. You can look back like not 6 years, 6 months, like it really wasn't really that stupid back then. I thought that so many times about myself.
Mm.
The whole time, like, wow, I wish I knew that 6 months ago. And it's not like years, it's only like 6 months. It's fast how
Yeah.
fast we can evolve when we get into a project like this or education like this. There's a lot of different ways of learning. And the way I prefer to
Exactly.
learn sounds like the same way you do with what you've told me so far,
Hmm.
of like actually
Yeah.
going out, doing, seeing what works, what doesn't work. And you can learn on like whilst doing that, watching videos on YouTube. I think you mentioned that in whilst I'm recording. Like if you don't need to go to an expensive college, because if you really just want to learn it, you don't need that whole structure, network, and whatever else it can give you. But just the knowledge, you can find it free on YouTube
Yeah.
and Google. It's all there.
Exactly.
So that kind of defeats that purpose. But I still have gotten a lot of like value from like being in communities. I think that's the most crucial thing or the best thing you can get in high school, college, whatever kind of school is the network, the people.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
I agree, definitely.
It's good to hear. And before I like start just rambling on making this my episode, I would love
Hmm.
to, and this was kind of the question I was asking you just before I found out I didn't press record. Um, like
Yeah.
you chose not to go to college because you found it like a waste of time, waste of money.
Hmm. Yeah.
But you still decided to join the Chrysalis project. Why the Chrysalis project? What is some of the things that you really can stand behind within this project? It was like, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So I I have a mission in life, and it's to help people, weak people, poor people, and disabled people. And Chrysalis here is going to help me achieve that goal later on in life. And what I love here in Chrysalis is that, unlike high school and college, I'm not going to be completely wasting my time. Over there, yeah, sure, I can get contacts and learn the textbook that would be taught to me online on YouTube. But here I can actually, I feel a lot better about working, getting my work done. I'm actually putting in hours of work, putting in effort that results to something great later on in the future. So that's what I love about being Chrysalis. And the other thing is that I love what I'm doing. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm really slogging my ass off, forgive the language, but
You can swear all you want to put in front of me.
oh, oh, okay, thank God. Uh, Slogging my ass off, right? Chrysalis, I actually enjoy what I'm doing. Gamification, who the hell does that? I enjoy it. I enjoy doing gamification. So
Oh,
yeah, that's why I'm doing Chrysalis.
it's well, I think it's good you enjoy making work enjoyable. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I don't think it would be very effective. And just to say to that whole like being sweared at, you need to people that play video games don't mind being sweared at because they most likely played it with a couple of Russians, and then you
yeah.
kind of get in. But for real, I think for me it's also just like having a job as phone sales, getting told to
Hmm.
fuck off, keep disturbing him all day. At some point, it's
Yeah,
like you just say whatever you feel like, and I think
fuck it.
yeah, And swear words can also really help to show what you really mean. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it is just fuck, just need to get this fucking done. Like that sometimes is the feeling.
Yeah.
You're not finished yet. It needs to be done by tomorrow. It needs to get fucking done because it's very urgent.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Exactly.
It's not meant to disrespect anyone or be shameful to anyone. It's to show that it's urgent.
Yeah.
So I
People
think
that don't swear, there's something wrong with them. Like, don't swear at all.
that takes some sort of discipline. I'm very impressed at the amount of discipline that must take.
Yeah,
You get
I
used to
swear
it.
to God.
Like there's certain swear words I don't use because I've been raised not to use them because they're more
Yeah.
offensive than others. That's that.
Yeah.
I still look at people weird sometimes when they say them because for me it's like can't say that. I will still correct my
Ah,
mom if she says it because she should know better.
yeah.
So you were talking a little bit about what you really want to achieve in your personal life, and I would say that's a very actually a very noble goal. What is like what makes you want to help that specific group of people? I like there's so many people that just but what is motivating
Yeah.
you? What is driving you?
Excuse me. It's just seeing them being unable to do things that normal people will be able to do. That's not like poor, or they're not disabled or anything like that. Seeing that, the struggle, sometimes they get called freaks of nature or whatever other names, probably not the best names. And seeing that really just breaks my heart. And I think in that moment, I think if I could help them, I would. And I really want to. I want to help them. I'm not going to like fix them or anything. I'm going to help them work with the fact that they're disabled, show them how they can also be normal, show them how they can work with their disabilities, their weakness, their poverty, and become greater than that, become the best version of themselves.
Oh, I guess yeah, that's a new perspective for me because I know, of course, some use those terms up here in Denmark, but it's very rarely. Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
really describe it. And maybe because my mom is actually helping those kind of people as well. So for me, it's
Oh,
like I get corrected sometimes if I say something wrong. But
I
it
see.
also I think, and this is podcast has taken many different uh, course corrections. That was the word I was looking for. Is that we are getting too sensitive in 2022 than it is nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say anything
Yeah.
on that's not like
It's
it's
so
like
fucking stupid
chill,
out there on social media.
chill. It's not meant
Yeah.
to offend anyone. Chill. I guess if you racist because to harm another person, directly to harm another person. But if a comedian says something that's a little bit racist, it's a fucking joke. Chill.
Yeah. Exactly.
It, they make fun of everybody, and the funniest jokes are normally the jokes that's aimed at like the group that you're in because you can really relate to them. It's like you got me there.
Exactly.
So that's actually another thing that I hope Krisullis can help with is lessening that kind of censor with that whole community. I don't really know how, um, and I
Yeah.
think that is another way, another thing that leads into one of my next questions is where do you see Chrysalis in 3 years? This is definitely a thing I would like to see be included, but what do you see?
Chrysalis in 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Krisullis is going to be a very successful company. It's definitely going to achieve most of the goals that it set out to do. And I really want to see personally Krisullis be everywhere, in the DAO and all of that. And I really want to, I'm glad to be a part of this whole experience, this role that I'm in for Krisullis. In the next 3 years, I think Krisullis is going to be gigantic in the DAO space and helping people in the Web3, all of that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Understandable. I just looked a little bit, the meeting that we had with the whole AstroDAO. I think I can say this stuff because that's actually where people need to access it, so it's also kind of relevant.
Yeah.
It's not easier than I thought. It's not that complicated. The button
Yeah.
sign, user-friendly locations, it feels like something that's assembled by people that know IT that's smart compared to
Yeah.
a normal like for example our internal social media platform for work, my other job. Like that is so backward. Half of the buttons don't even work. It
I
makes you
swear.
not want to work with it. Where here it's something nice. It's cooperative.
Yeah.
Makes sense the layout. Just so nice to have something in hand. For me, it really changes a lot of things. I also hope that
Exactly.
for you now that everything is scaling up, becoming faster, becoming better project. I don't know why I feel so passionate about it just today. normally, be, normally it's everybody else going out the passionate speeds, but they're coming to me.
that's
Actually, and
that's good.
yeah, I'm glad you like them, but like at least you're not falling asleep over here. But let's also. I don't even. I thought I would ask you also to say what's going to happen to you in 3 years, but I remember being 17 and people asked me that question. I'm stuck in that. I don't fucking know. So I will actually. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to ask you this question, but I do. What is some of the stupidest questions a person can ask a young person, like in an interview in any way, shape, or form? Because I
Or some of
remember
the
getting.
questions that an old person asks a young person
Yeah,
in an
let's say
interview.
you're an interview, either something Chrysalis related or job related, professional anything, or they ask you those type of questions. What do you see yourself in 3 years? You're 17, you don't fucking know. Stupid question.
Yeah.
The questions like
Yeah.
that to help our older generation.
So what was the question again? I should.
You should. What is some of the worst and best? Let's actually both say worst and best questions the older generation normally ask young people
Mhm.
in like a professional interaction.
Okay, I see. Um, Probably where do you see sure you can say ask those guys where do you see yourself in the company and whatever years, or better yet is what the hell do you really want to do in this company? Why are you here? You think your excuse me, think your college work, your college knowledge, now that diploma is gonna help you here, or do you have to throw that away? Is And do you see yourself working in this company for a long time? Obviously, they're not going to answer that immediately. Yeah. It's not like they just work there and they see what's happening inside the work environment. So, yeah, I don't really know that many questions that the older generations could ask the new generations in a professional interview.
Okay, fair enough. I just
Yeah.
remember getting tons of them and being like, just please. fucking shut up. I remember interview a guy just he said the whole interview. Every time I said something, explained something, he said yes, 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 yes.
My God.
That don't ever do that. That I was glad I didn't get the job because I know that just those 20-30 minute interaction was feeling like was taken. Like, my soul was leaving my body or something. It's terrible.
Wow.
Hmm. Well, I try to a really different layout in this podcast. So, audience, please
I
do tell
see.
me what you think about it because it's kind of spread out to a bit of everywhere. Going back to you, this was a great
Yeah.
question Linda asked me, uh, and I remember it because I have to ask her this later. What are your key values?
My key values as a person.
Yeah,
Key values as a person. I am consistent. I'd probably put my impatience as another key value sometimes. um, I'm confident in my work, confident myself. Uh, for something that's going to be challenging, I would not work harder. I'll find an easier way around it, or easier way to it, delegate it. And other than that, I'm good with people sometimes. I don't like talking to people. It gets annoying sometimes if you're talking to the wrong person. But yeah,
true, true. Yeah, then those kind of people you should be speaking to.
what are
If
the
it's
kind of people I'm speaking to?
no, those kind of people we should be speaking to. I think for me in the
Yeah.
Caroline often talks about being intentional, and I think that's one of the key
Hmm.
things in being intentional is not um, speaking to those kind of people. Of course, you can end up speaking to a person like that and would be rude just to
Yeah.
walk off. I would never do that because it might burn a bridge because they might know a person that I want to know in the future.
That is
But
true. That is true.
you can end off the interaction very quickly and you don't necessarily have to go back and speak to that person ever again.
Yeah.
They said, "Well, I met him. Yeah, he was like a nice guy," and then the connection's kind of with the person that they know asked them. You don't want them to say, "Oh, it's rude," like just walk off. If I
Hmm.
ask my friend about like a person that one like would get to know me, I know for some reason that he had spoken to him or something before. He might have mentioned it to me, and he
Hmm.
mentioned like he was rude. He just walked off. One of my good friends, I most likely wouldn't do business with the guy
I see.
because like you, and of course you don't want to burn those bridges. Um, what else is there to cover? I don't know. Yes, you're young. Tell us about
Hmm.
Web3. What is Web3? What is the now? I've tried to explain it a little piece by piece on the podcast, and I would love to hear your explanation.
Web3 is I guess where everything is decentralized. It's a lot easier and there's no social media on it. Like I always read the definition of Web3, but it never sticks into my mind.
The what? No,
And
the Matrix.
the Matrix.
Yes, I just I had to get that right.
And the DAO is the decentralized autonomous organization. Other than the full name or the full form of that abbreviation, I think it's really just a giant organization that is decentralized. It's not like your regular organization where everything is just in a hierarchy and you have roles like the owner, some admins, and all of that. It's decentralized, and there's a voting system, works on a democracy, and the other option is the token weight. I think that's what it was. But yeah, other than that, I don't know anything else.
I think the token weight is compared to how many tokens you hold. If you hold a lot of tokens, you have more invested.
Yeah,
Therefore, you should have more to say. I guess it's the same thing as the more you have invested in a stock company, the more your leverage you have.
yeah,
More you own,
yeah,
you more say. Yeah, we do it this way. Where if you own over more 150, you do it that way. If you don't, you have to convince some other people to do it as well.
mm,
Uh,
I see.
if people are interested to get to know you more, maybe make their work a little bit more fun, since that's your specialty, where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah. Where can they get a hold of me?
Yeah,
Like on a social media?
yes. Well, if you want them to get a hold of you, if you're not, I will cut this part out.
Uh, I'd really say just Instagram, I'd say, because I don't really use social media too much. All the Twitter, I don't even have a Twitter account.
Me neither, but
Definitely not, yeah, definitely not Facebook. Telegram, maybe. Otherwise, it's just Telegram and Instagram. Yeah,
okay, sounds
that's where
good.
you can reach out and
I'll
get a
make
hold
sure
of me.
to have the just put the Instagram down there. I think that's the best thing. Just stick with that. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you very much for listening to this. I won't say mess or disaster because I actually think I had a lot of fun on this episode. Normally, create for good content if you have fun as well. Bit of a mess though, still all over the place. Make
Yeah.
sure to stay stay tuned on the DAO. Stay tuned to Krisullis, and check out the next episode when it comes out.
Yeah.
I have
Thank you for
absolutely
having me.
my pleasure. My pleasure. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I didn't even get to say that in the secondary intro. It's kind of
Oh.
all part of a mess, I guess. Kind of me that messed it up with that was quite good structure, and then I forgot to intro, and then the structure kind of went. But it is what it is.
Oh.